share. Galore. Hello. Oh my God, I feel like my screen is kind of dirty. All right, everyone hold up. We are going to be speaking about one of the ways to actually tell if you are sabotaging your life or business. Hold that thought. Should always check. Okay, that's much better. Hello. Okay, wait for hello Instagram. Okay, hopefully you don't fall out of my tripod. I'm going to speak to Instagram today, on TikTok, on YouTube. We're doing it all. I don't think I've ever gone live 3 ways before, so this is kind of trippy. How we are doing. So we're going to be speaking about today how to actually understand and witness yourself sabotaging your life, your money, or your business. And it's something I just got off my mastermind call for Become the CEO. So Become the CEO is for female entrepreneurs. If you want to consistently scale to 10 to 30K, plus creating a business that's sustainable, that's inspiring, and one where you get to be separate from. Too many business owners now create a business where it's their entire identity. And so that was a big thing that came up today. But an even bigger thing that came up today, and I'm actually going to share with my woman mastery masterminders, so personal development, is you can tell if you're self-sabotaging if you are validating all of the things that are keeping you exactly where you are. If you keep validating every move you're making right now, today, this past week, this past month, and it comes in forms of justifying it comes in forms of excuses, it comes in form of just being very like blasé about it, like it's how I am, being in a victim mode. This is a big one I see, and this might be a little bit triggering to people, but if you are in a victim mode, that this is happening to me because of the government, the economy, the algorithms, my parents, that is called a victim mode. And why this might be triggering to people is, coming back and saying, well, things are happening that are out of our control. Of course they are. They always are. Things are always happening in the economy, in the world, the external world, that is out of our control. So what can you control? You get to control your responses. You get to control how you wake every day up, every single day, and what you choose, right? And I'm talking to my high achievers. I'm talking to the women out there that are made to create an extraordinary life. You're not here to follow the masses. We don't do that in the world of JP. We forge our own path, and we realize that we're actually here on this earth to live a fucking inspiring life. Money, fun, all of that, experiences, great, but most importantly, inspiring. And this is a big thing of Become the CEO, which couple of days, even though we've started, I'm giving till Friday. If you're resonating, you want to scale consistently 10 to 30K, you can still enroll. Just send me a DM. But I'm going to go into a lesson on the first mastermind call. And it was really about, okay, so how do we break down? And this is one of the reasons why you get a mentor, right? Or a coach to see your blind spots. How do we break down what we're validating? So what I want you to do, because I love to make my trainings and my teaching super tangible, and I'm quite literally giving you what I gave the women inside of Become the CEO. So if you want more of this for 12 weeks, you need to jump in to Become the CEO. It's going to change your outlook and perspective on life. I want you to look at the last 90 days. To get out the ego and to get out the things that are giving you dopamine hits, I just want you to write out in the past 90 days all of your wins, all of the things that you've done really well. We, of course, always want to validate those things, and we want to validate what we've achieved. Now, I want you, and this may take a few lessons to understand this process, but like I said, I quite literally 45 minutes ago gave it to my clients. From that list, I want you to see what is the bare minimum, what you have just been achieving because it's a part of you now, and things that are dopamine hits. So let's say that you wanted to, I'll do a couple of examples business wise. Let's say you wanted to put on a group coaching program, and you went a whole week and you were selling on your stories, you're doing content, and no one signed up. And then something inside of you goes, oh, well, see, we told you like the price is too cheap, or like no one's going to sign up. Like, why don't we just go back to our workshops? So then what you do is you stop selling that and you do your workshops instead. Your workshops, much lower price point, and you get like 15 people in your workshop. That's called a dopamine hit, because even though that's a win, technically we always want to validate our wins. We need to also be able to recognize, and this is a big part of Woman Mastery and my methodology, recognize what's a dopamine hit. That's what a dopamine hit looks like. A bare minimum can call it a bare minimum mindset, a bare minimum hit, is actually the things that are, and we're looking over the past 90 days, are actually the things that you are just rooted in already doing. I'll give a very superficial answer. It's like writing down and ticking off your to-do list. Like I have my to-do list here, brushing my teeth. That would be called a bare minimum mindset. I'll give you some of mine personally so you can understand. I'm not going to be writing on my to-do list right here, workout, steps, eat breakfast, and listen to a podcast today, or my Audible book, actually. Do you know why I wouldn't write that down and tick those off? Because that's already a bare minimum. A couple of them may have taken a while to get into a habit and to create a standard and be like rooted in me, but now they're bare minimum. And this is where I see a lot of not just female entrepreneurs and business owners, like what I discussed in Become the CEO, but I see just a lot of high achieving women is they are constantly chasing the validation of ticking off the bare minimum. And then they wonder why at the end of the night, they're stressing, they have anxiety, they're wondering why they're not seeing the results that they want to see. And it's because of this. So just to kind of like bring back what I said for the activity, right? Let's bring it all together before we move forward. So the first thing is I want you to write out over the past 90 days your wins, right? The things you see as wins, whether it's you lost 2 kilos, maybe you released a workshop and you got 15 people in there, maybe you signed someone into your high ticket clientele, maybe you're a career woman, maybe you got a promotion or a bonus. Let's write those things out. Then you need to separate them between your bare minimum mindset, the things that you're just doing, it's already rooted in who you are, and the things that are dopamine hits. And to take it a level deeper, I would highly, and I said this to the women today on Become the CEO, I would highly recommend anything that are dopamine hits. I would then put in brackets or somewhere like this. When I do a brainstorm like this, like my pages are all over it, my writing's all over the page, I would put in brackets, what was the sacrifice for that dopamine hit? Every time that you chase instant gratification and a dopamine hit, there is a long-term sacrifice. Every time. So like I said, the example I gave, if you wanted to release a group program, you're selling, you're doing content, you're doing lives for a week and no one signs up, then the ego comes in and justifies and goes, okay. And I'm going to explain why that happens in a second. So we're getting there. Why don't we just do a workshop? We know we can lower the price, and instead of selling a $2,000 program, we can sell a $30 workshop, right? So the long-term gain would have been the program for many reasons, from a revenue point of view, from also a nervous system point of view, or expanding yourself and growing as a leader, growing as a business owner. But instead we chose the short term. So everything that's coming up on that list is something to recognize. Then you need to actually have a look at this and look at all of the things that you're validating to get you to the next level. What's the next level? Something that I love to do with all of my clients. It doesn't matter what container or capacity you work with me in, which, by the way, I actually haven't said this on my stories or anything, but I am opening a couple of spots for a container called The Visionary. So The Visionary will start November. It's going to be 4 weeks. It's one-on-one time with me. And what it focuses on is really Q4 and getting and planning out your 12 months of 2025. I'm really excited about it. I was fleshing it out yesterday. And the Visionary is the 2025 goal planning. So we get to the nitty gritty. We do things like this because I spent many years getting to the end of the year writing this huge list of goals. And then all of a sudden it would be March. And I'm like, even February. And I'm like, can't be bothered with that. That's too hard. I don't have enough discipline. Why don't I just do this a bit more? So it doesn't matter whether you're a business owner or you're a career woman, single mom, it doesn't matter who you are. You're in high school, uni, and you want to sort out and plan out your 2025, money-wise, health-wise, business, career, send me a DM. Like I said, I haven't even released this. It's quite literally on the Google Doc in front of me. That's why I remembered it. The Visionary. Just send me that as a comment, and you and I work one-on-one. It's an intensive. It's not a chill 4 weeks. It's intensive. We have 4 weeks. Every week we have a call, minimum 90 minutes. You have access to me during the week as well, and we dive deep into why you are finishing the year in the way you are, even if it's a big win. But how can we actually 10x that in 2025? How can we get you to your thing? So like I said, if you're not ready for an intensive look at the things you're doing, it's probably not for you, but I'm super excited about this. As I said, a couple of spots. Now, what I would get you to do from when you have these two lists is then I would start to understand all of the things that you were justifying, and understanding all of the things that you are actually, you look at and you're like, well, I like doing this, or I need to do this, or this is a thing that I've always done. To get to where you want to be who you want to be, you need to choose differently. You need to actually wake up every day and move differently. You actually have to embody differently. This is why I have the Woman Mastery methodology. 3 phases. Phase number 1, subconscious reprogramming. Phase 2, identity shifting and self-concept. Phase 3, regulating to a new capacity. Which, by the way, I did a great little mini trading carousel today on regulating to a new capacity when it comes to money. So go check that out. But you will never, like, coming back to the start, is like, if you are consistently validating all of the things you're doing now, there's a reason why you aren't getting the results that you deserve. You deserve and that you desire. It's not that it's out of reach. Any woman that comes and works with me, I look at their goals and I'm like, they're not out of reach. In fact, I think you should aim higher, but this is what's happening. You choose and you move in a way that validates your old identity, your old way of being, your old way of thinking and feeling, and of who you are. And I think that can be the most debilitating thing, because then 3 months go by and we look at where we're at in business, career, life, money, health, and things aren't shifting, or they've moved this much. Everyone in the industry talks about quantum leaping. Do you know what quantum leaping actually is? Quantum leaping is actually the micro steps, the micro messy inspired action. Something I've been saying since 2018 on my podcast, the Jessica Pinili podcast, is take 1% of messy inspired action every single day. But that's what a quantum leap is. The coaches in the industry who talk about, I quantum leaped from this to that, from that to this, how it works is the micro shifts. But how do you do that? You have to stop validating the shifts you're making now. And to break it down even simpler, just look at all of the results, write down, this isn't for the faint-hearted. And like I said, the visionary, the 4 weeks, that's very intensive. We dive in deep. Only a couple of spots for that. But what I actually look at with my clients is, what do you actually think? I'm giving you so much gold that came from the call today. What do you actually think is going to happen if you move differently? What do you actually think is going to shift? What do you think the danger is when you make a different move? And this is exactly that hidden subconscious fear will be showing up in the way of you scrolling on your phone and just saying 5 more minutes, I need to regulate. It will show up in the way of being in your Canva and saying, oh, I'm not going to release this today because it's not perfect, and maybe I'll sit on it overnight. You guys should see if I had it up, I'd show you. You should see, I started my business in 2019. You should see my Canva in 2019 versus now. 2019 and me looking at that now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I would never put that up. However, micro shifts. I couldn't get to the quality and the quantity of content. I think in this year alone, I have posted close to 1,000 pieces of content. I need to get those numbers. I'm actually going to make a post about it. I think that it's going to probably fluctuate a bit. And that's not overworking. This is all about sustainable businesses. This is what we do when you come and work with me. I love a chill life. I love a luxe life, but I love a chill life. I did the hustle. I did the grind. And do you know why I did the hustle and grind in business and life, and I made things super hard for myself? Because I kept validating why it should be hard. It's crazy, right? Human beings, we are crazy. The way we're wired, we quite literally justify to ourselves why we should suffer. And so ask yourself, why am I justifying the suffering? Why does every time I want to show up differently, or I start a new challenge, or I'm trying to become differently, or every time, I go to click and sign up with a coach, I back out or I make an excuse, or why do I always use, the weather, or I have a headache, I need to rest more. Why am I using that as an excuse? Why am I justifying where I am? And that's a really, really honest conversation that I had to have with myself, that what I have with my clients. Some of my long-term clients have been working with me for 4 years now. And we have this, they up level, and they reach this plateau, this unconscious standard of success. I talk a lot about this in Become the CEO. Only a couple of days, it's the first week, but by Friday, you can't enroll anymore for this round. But if you're a female entrepreneur and you're getting in your own way, highly recommend getting in to Become the CEO. Just send me a DM. But I see my clients, business or not, business or life clients, it doesn't matter, unconscious success level. If you don't know what your unconscious success level, it will always feel like you're doing. And that's why you end the week fucking exhausted, burnt out, angry, resentful, looking at your social media. Why aren't I getting inquiries? Or looking at your career and being like, I've been in this job for 2 years. Like, why haven't I got that bonus? So why aren't I being considered for a promotion? Yeah. Let me just have a look at the comments. Any questions, please let me know. But I think that one of the most important things that you can do for yourself, just to kind of round this off, because I've got a bit of filming to do before my next calls. One of the most important things that you can do for yourself is seriously just be honest about your dopamine hits and how you are choosing them. And how every single time that you choose them, you are doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice, your success, the amount of income that you can bring in, the standard of relationships that you can have. When my clients come to me to work in one area, business or life, like maybe it's their inner work, personal development, personal growth, what I start to happen, it's a flow-on effect in their money, in their relationships, in their health. Everything is a flow-on effect. And if you are continuously seeing the exact same results every 90 days, I like to gauge it at that. I don't know why, but I've just seen this with my clients, and I've coached over 400 women. Every 90 days is a good gauge, every quarter. You can see sooner, you can see within 30 days, right? And this is when you really get to understand yourself. It helps when you have a mentor, because you can't see your own blind spots, right? That's why they're blind spots. But look at your life in the past 90 days, especially now. Next week, we are about to hit Q4 of the year. And like I said, if you want a spot in the visionary, it's 101, it's intensive. We dive in deep. So if you're not ready to have your blind spots shown to you and you want to enter 2025 with the same routine and way of thinking, it's not for you. But if you want to do something differently and shift differently and actually have someone support you, this is what it is. It's about getting supported. Just send me a message to the visionary. And if you are a female entrepreneur and you want to come in to Become the CEO, we just started this week. Cutoff is Friday. Again, send me a DM. Show notes below. Link in bio for TikTok, for YouTube. Show notes below. But I'm going to do a bit of filming before I get on my next call. I hope you've gotten some value from this. I hope that this has helped you. And I will see you in tomorrow's live. Bye.